Here we are. Let me back up on this. This is an 8-inch dredge. Gary Wright started working on it 3 years ago to make it my personal 8-inch dredge. This is the 4th 8-inch dredge in my career. It's the latest generation. We wanted to do it as good as we possibly could. It starts out with, this is Gary, by the way, master dredge builder, maybe the best in the world, bar none. Anyway, starts with is that an 1800?
Yes, 1800 Subaru.
1800 cc Subaru water-cooled motor with the.
This is water cooled.
Yep, that's the water cooler right there, a heat exchanger. It's controlled. It's got a nice set of controls up here and a key start, and it's very strategically placed so whoever's running it can look at the air pressure on the compressors and also the water pressure off the pump. That's how we set our volume, our throttle. We set it on pressure.
And this is your primer.
And it's got a primer that works off the vacuum system. So it's automatic priming of the entire system. It's got a Keen P1500 pump, pedestal mounted, with 2 Thomist 263 compressors. You can only see one from here, but you can see he's done a nice job protecting the belts. There's 2 of them, and they're connected into an air reserve tank, which is set up for 3 divers. Those compressors will run 4 divers, but I don't anticipate having more than myself and 2 helpers down at any given time. The pump powers a splitter, and the splitter runs down to an oversized power jet. By oversized, I mean the inside diameter is 8 inches or maybe just a little over 8 inches, so we don't get any plug-ups. No plug-ups at the jet. And the power jet goes right up into a diffuser, which goes up into the sluice box. And Gary will show you, he built this beautiful quick connect for the suction hose. And he did it with, you could point down there at one of those little tits. He put special tits in, and that keeps the suction hose from coming out. We always had problems with that in the past, especially in fast water. The whole thing locks down quite nicely. On 30 feet of 8-inch suction hose, which is in storage right now. We don't like it out in the sun. And show him the nozzle, Gary. This is pretty much a standard Keen swivel nozzle with a breaker flap, so you can get plug-ups. You can get rocks off the face easy. We just do it with a quick flip, and the throttle, the thing turns so that you can get that nozzle pointed just the way that you want. It's pretty standard stuff. Electric start. Get that exhaust up in the air, away from our air intakes. Gary built something I've never seen before. You wanna kind of walk him through this. This is the intake for the pump. This was always a problem. The way that most dredge manufacturers build these is that they just kind of hang off the side. But we work fast water, and that's always a problem. We end up having to put lead weights on them to keep them in the water, to keep them from sucking air. Gary built this one so it actually goes up and down. With the ratchet, this thing will ratchet, so you can ratchet it up above the pontoons, above the bottom of the pontoons when you're moving the dredge around.
So you're not dragging.
Or if you're putting it up on a trailer. And then when you get there, where you're going to be, you can just use a ratchet and
I'll just go down.
you can just lower that thing down. Oh, what? How far? 14 inches into the water?
Yeah, it goes 12 inches at least.
Cool. Very cool. That's something new on a suction dredge. It's got a. Here's our second compressor over here. It's the second compressor. The diffuser comes up and unloads right into the sluice box. And we start with a high grading section. This is the only thing that we would normally clean every day. It's this first section. It's 1/2 inch screen over top of some nice riffles down in there that are on top of some miner's moss, and that's going to catch most of your gold. Not all of it, but definitely enough for the day's cleanup or our sample. That's what we would clean up every day. And then it goes into an open section just on the possibility of nuggets bigger than 1/2 inches. Frankly, nuggets bigger than 1/2 inches probably won't make it over the screen, but just in case we left an open space where there's just no way they're going to get away. And then we have this nice runway into 2 sections of double screen recovery system. This is the ideal scene would be to open this one, the first one, and let's show our audience what we got. This is what makes our dredges better than any other dredges in the world. We got a 1/4 inch screen over top of an 1/8 inch screen, and these are adjustable. They're on, so that you can adjust the water flows, and so any gold. Now we're really talking about fine gold because the bigger pieces of gold are caught up in the front of the box. The fine gold, the super fine gold, will come down and fall through this 1/4 inch screen and end up on top of this 1/8 inch screen where the water flow is slower, and then drop through this 1/8 inch screen down into very aggressive expanded metal that is over top of deep rib rubber matting. And we have found through extensive, and I'm talking about years of trial and error, that this recovery system cannot be beat for gold. Those low profile riffles here will concentrate, and if a gold falls down into this matting, you can't even blast it out with a pressure washer. So you can let that down, Gary. We got 2 sections of these. The idea is that I don't know how often. It depends on how much fine gold that you're in, but we built it so you only have to clean up 1 section if you want to. Okay, so normally you would clean up the front section at the end of the day or at the end of a sample to see how you're doing. And then every once in a while you go back and get your fine gold. If you're into these systems were really designed for Cambodia that has enormous volumes of fine gold associated with a lot of heavy black sand. That's really what we developed these things for. Gary was in on it from the beginning. Yes. I'm going to come around it. Just and which. You have built every one of these. Is this the 6th or is it the 7th evolution of this double screen?
I believe it's the 7th.
It comes right after the Pro-Line 6. Yeah, that's probably about right. And would you agree it's the best one we've built?
Yes, it is, because the recovery has just been shown to be so great, and I've found actually 500 mesh gold in it.
Yeah. That's right. Gold almost you couldn't see it until you tailed it up.
Volume, yeah.
Right. And this will be a volume dredge. It's the second 8 inch dredge we put the system on, but this is better than the first.
Yeah, we're always improving.
Each time we're doing it a little bit better.
And then there's these here, so that when you slip it in,
it doesn't slide out.
Cannot slide out.
Yeah. And there's the second section down in there. And so this is a volume dredge. It's very high powered, water cooled, 10-gallon fuel tank. It's gonna let you go down for your 3 or 4 hour dive, no problem. Put 3 guys down, 1 guy running the nozzle, 2 guys moving rocks out of the way, and it's going to catch all the fine gold you run into it. If you suck it up that nozzle, that recovery system is not going to let it go.
That's true.
Best 8-inch dredge I've ever had. And here's the guy who built it. Part-time, 3 years. 3 years we've been working on this because of the dredge moratorium. There's been no rush. And it's finished up now, ready to go. Well done, Gary.
And we wanted to use it this year, but
Yeah. But we built this dredge to make America great.